Even though I've lived in the US for about 8 to 9 years, I go back to Pakistan every year. I often reference spaces that are in transition back home. I think like a lot of my work becomes about imagining where to be and integrating the different spaces where I've lived.
So the idea of migration and displacement and home comes into play, that kind of movement back and forth, and both the physical space that you live in now and the memory of spaces and landscapes and particularly architectural elements that exist back home. I want to talk about this piece. There's a monoprint and then there's a second piece. It's digitally printed on Tyvek.
Yes, I made the monoprint immediately after we returned from the pandemic, collaging 2 different spaces that I went to a lot last year for emotional support. And I felt that it wasn't like able to hold all the different ideas I had for it, so I blew it up. It's kind of 12 feet by 9 feet or something. It's in my studio right now and I'm drawing over it. I'm trying to make an installation currently where it's this piece, and then I'm making a ceiling piece with woodcuts in different colors to kind of create a palette out of the woodcuts.
So it's, this deconstructed architectural renderings and also the patterns that you made from clothing.
Yeah, and that's something that I'm currently thinking about is I want these 2 things together to feel like a celebration.
Interesting. It's all really interesting. And it actually is really beautiful and joyful with the color schemes and the sort of dimensionality of the fabric is like flags or pennants. So there's definitely references there to what is used celebratorially.
Yeah, I never thought about that.
Really interesting that is moving into these textiles and the softness and fluidity of textile and the way that the image is both legible and abstracted.
I want to use information that's been vital to like this cultural past I hold on to, and then also incorporate what is around me and to understand it as these can go together.
So to bring these 2 spaces together, as they exist for you, really, and as they exist in you. Yeah.